Greetings to you. My name is Vicki Kemp, and I am the author of the best-selling book entitled Better Than Yesterday, Proverbs of a Woman's Heart. I am a Christian influencer, and I am a speaker. I am honored today to be a part of this amazing platform of phenomenal speakers. Let me say thank you to the committee of the Bakersfield Women's Conference that, again, I'm so honored. I'm looking forward to this amazing week. I'm looking forward to learning, growing, and evolving. Today, I'm going to be presenting on the topic entitled Empowered to Become Better. Empowered to become better. I mean, wherever you are, you might be in your living room, you might be in your kitchen, you might be riding in your car, you might be in your office at work. Go ahead and shout it out loud. I am going to be empowered to become better in life and in living. So I want to do a disclaimer. I'm going to be looking down at my notes, okay? So life is filled with lessons. Therefore, we can choose to learn, to move forward, to grow, or we can remain stuck. I don't want to remain stuck. I want to move forward in life and living to become this amazing person that I've dreamt about becoming in my dreams. How about you? Even when you make the worst mistakes and stumble on disappointments, we must decide to aim for the better. Each year, we as individuals, we should see growth in our emotions, in our homes, in our relationships, in our bank accounts, in our businesses, in our goal settings. Each part of our life should call for change and improvement. How many of you believe that? What does it mean to evolve? Evolve simply means to make changes for the better. We should look different than how we looked on last year or even last month. That's what it means to evolve, to gradually move forward to becoming better in the things that we set out to do in life. I desire today to empower and challenge you to become powerful and move your mindset to new levels of positive thinking. You have what you say. I'm going to pause right there and let you think about that. You have what you say. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to create, you have what you say. I have this scripture that I love. It's Proverbs 18:21, and it tells us that life and death is in the power of the tongue. So you got to ask yourself, what are you creating in the atmosphere? What are you speaking out of your mouths? So when you want to have something positive come to you, you have to speak words of positivity over your life. So as women, this is a Bakersfield Women's Conference, right? And men, we're going to let you chime in if you're listening with us on today also. As women, at times in our lives, we will question the path that we are traveling. We will question the unknown, the circumstances, experiences, and relationships that are unclear. There will be times in our lives when we will not be able to see, but it takes faith to keep going. How many of you believe in the power of faith? What is faith? Faith is seeing something before you see it. If you don't see it before you see it, you may never see it. That's what faith is. Faith is believing in the very thing that you have prayed for. Faith is a force that changes our reality. It is a conviction. Faith is constant, it's unchanging, it's unmovable. Every experience we encounter shapes us to bloom, shapes us to grow, heal, and build a better you, right? We must be advised that when we should be, let me say it like this, grateful for doors that have closed and relationships that have ended. And that sounds maybe a little negative, but you learned from it, right? You learned how to be a better person. You learned how to keep going and how to keep fighting. And you learned not to just accept that closed door, but you learned to go through more doors. And in that relationships that ended, you learned how to be a better person, how to be a better friend. And we're going to talk about that a little later. Although painful, although hurtful, you learn what not to do to others that were done to you, right? We must learn to trust the promise that God promised us despite the uncomfortable places and unsure circumstances. I have heard people say that they trust in the process. I don't trust in the process because the process continues to change and it's uncomfortable. I've learned through studying the word, I trust in the promises of God because the promise is sure. Although tests and trials, we're going to face them, but the promises are yay and amen. The process changes too often for me. You know those places that are dark with heavy terrain and are difficult to maneuver? That's why you got to keep speaking in faith. We are travelers, so we know the ropes, right? However, at those times, the roads we travel can be rough and paved with stones and pebbles, debris, stickers, and detours. But you got to keep going if you want to get to the better. It is by grace we stand in confidence to make it to a place called better. In my studying, I read an article that I want to share some points with you from this article. It's 101 ways to become a better person. I want to look at you close and just ask you, do you really want to become a better person? I do. I strive every day to be better than I was on yesterday. The first thing I want to talk to you is about committing yourself to growth. Be growth oriented. Don't settle. If I have single ladies on here, don't settle. Commit yourself to evolving, to becoming better over and over in whatever area that you are committed to. The more you grow, the better you become. Y'all got that? Moving right along to number 2. Work on your negative traits. All of us have areas where we need to work on. It's just the reality of living in a world of process and change. We all experience areas in our lives that we are not proud of. Some of us are shameful of, but don't let shame beat you down. Don't let shame remind you of who you were on yesterday. You tell shame to get out of your business because you got places to go, you got people to meet, you got businesses to create, and you have things to do. So we want to work on those negative traits. Are there any traits that you dislike about yourself? Let's pause for a moment. Let's think about that. What are some negative traits that you dislike about yourself? I mean, God did not create a mistake. God did not create ugliness. But sometimes along this journey, we pick up traits along the way and we have to stop and adjust our mindset. We have to stop and adjust things that we have picked up, drop them off and do better so we can move on to bigger and better things. For example, being self-centered. That's a trait that can be negative, right? Arrogance. That's a trait. You can be confident. And it's good to have confidence because that's what gets us going, is us having confidence in what we are doing and also having confidence in ourselves. But when it turns to be a little arrogant, you want to check that negative trait because some doors that might be opening may not open if you have that trait. Think about that. Selfishness, not a good trait. We are created to be doers, to be loving people, to be givers of our communities, to be givers in our family, in our relationships. Selfishness can be something that will hold you back. So we want to check that negative trait. Now, these are just some examples that I'm throwing out to you. If the shoe fit, you might want to adjust the straps a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Critical. My husband pastors a prominent church in the city of Bakersfield, California, and he always teaches us in church, don't always be critical. Don't always be critical. Find a solution. Have you ever been around a person that always is complaining? They always have they always have issues, but never a solution. So we want to be aware of the uh, character trait of being a critical person. Positivity is beautiful. Positivity is powerful. Positivity helps you to create. Again, positivity helps you to open doors, and that door opens another door, and that door opens another door. But you have to be positive. So beware of the character trait of being critical. Now, sometimes when you're trying to create a business, when you're trying to go far, I know sometimes I can be critical of myself, but it's in a positive way. Did you catch that? I'm trying to make sure all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed because I want to look good. I want to present like I'm trying hard right now to present a presentation where you would be blessed, where you would be empowered to be a better you. So sometimes being critical is good, but when you cross that fine line, when it gets to be a problem, we want to watch that. Harshness. Powerful. That's another trait we want to be careful of. I remember being in school years ago, and my professor would always say, we want to be mindful of our tone. If you got notes, you can write that down. Our tone, our cadence, and our volume. How we speak to people, how we present to people, how we project to people. You know, first impressions are lasting impressions. So we really want to be careful with the harshness, how we introduce ourselves to people, how we make people feel. You know, we're living in a season and in a time where people are not concerned what you drive. They don't care about what how you look, what you can buy, how many credit cards you have, how many red bottom shoes you might have in the closet, the diamonds on your hand. They are concerned about how you make them feel. How you make them feel. How you make them feel is so very important to that opportunity that awaits for you. So we want to continue to work on your negative traits, identify them. When you figure out what your negative traits are, and that comes sometime through prayer. That comes sometime when our friends are, or even our children. My children are my teachers. They say, Mom, I'm like, okay, I got you. I'm listening. Sometimes we can learn from people that really love us, people that really want to see us become better. We can take their advice and apply that advice to our lives. You got that? So when we realize the negative traits in our lives, then we identify them and we work on them one by one. Take notes of that. We work on them one by one. And it can be challenging to try to overhaul your character at once. That's funny, huh? Because sometimes we do. It's like we want to be perfect. We want to get this right. But we have flaws. And that's what it is. We have flaws. I am 52 years old, and I am not embarrassed to say that I have flaws, but I work on them. I challenge myself with all my being. I challenge myself to evolve. Vicki, I literally get a mirror. I should have brought my mirror out. I literally get a mirror and I say to myself, you can become better because you were created to be great. You were created to design. You were created to be this amazing person for my community, for my family, for my friends, for you. That's why I am honored to be on this amazing platform to share with you my truth so you can take some takeaways and then you can see where you need to be for you. So you want to identify and then work on them one by one and challenge yourself in those areas that call for change. Don't settle. Don't say, oh, this is just the way I was created. This is just how I am. But you were created to be sweet. You were created to be loving. You were created to be better. You wasn't created to be selfish. You get what I'm saying? Do y'all get the total lesson, what I'm trying to portray to you today? On the other hand, if you work on addressing one negative trait at a time, y'all got that? Work on addressing one negative trait at a time. And I promise you, you will see incredible results. And you have to be intentional. Write that word down, intentional. You want to be intentional about becoming better. You want to work at it. It's a lot more manageable and achievable when you work on a trait one at a time. You won't overload your emotions. You won't overload your mind. You won't overload everything that you're trying to do, because if you're like me, you are a multitasker. We do so much. I'm a mommy. I'm a wife of a bishop. I'm an author. My second book is coming out this month. Yay. I'm so excited. I'm a mentor to many. I'm a sister. I'm a good friend. And we're going to talk about that in a minute too. So I want to encourage you on the path to become better. Work on yourself. It's so freeing. It's so special that you take time, because sometimes women, if you're like me, we take time out taking care of everybody else. But how about this season in your life, you take time to take care of you? Just for a minute, focus on you, because somebody needs you out there. Number 3, identify your ideal self. How do you see yourself? What do you want to do? What's your ideal self like? Isn't that a deep question? It sounds like a simple question, but it's really a deep question. Your ideal self. Picture in your mind you. A lot of times we take time picturing other people, critiquing other people, guilty, judging other people. But how about you take time out of your day to sit back, relax, and just picture you? How do you see yourself? See yourself blooming and blossoming into this incredible person that you've dreamt of becoming. And then write down all of your ideal traits. Write down the goodness about you. Write down the positivity about you. Write down the special things about you. And sometimes that's kind of hard to write down beautiful things. Let me see. If I had a moment, I would say, Vicki, you're a good friend. Vicki, you are special. God created you to be this special woman. I have a podcast. You can follow me. It's called Saving Our Sisters. And I talk to women about developing their lifestyles to be better. I'm on iHeart. Let me plug this in. I'm on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Play, Apple Play, and Deezer. And it's listed under Vicki L. Kemp's podcast. And I titled it Saving Our Sisters because I want to be the sister that saves. So if I can write some character traits down, I would say, Vicki Kemp, you've been saving a lot of women. And I feel good about that. See, we want to be better to the point that we are working hard, not just for ourselves. There's a sister and there's a brother out there that need you. So write down your ideal traits. Then start living true to your ideal self. Isn't that powerful? Start living your true to your ideal self. Moving right along, God has blessed me with some incredible sisters. Like, I've been sisters with my village for 45 years, and they have been incredible role models in my life. I take something from each of them. I take pieces from each of them, and I learn. So I encourage you, when you're evolving, and you want to become better, and you need some help. Sometimes we just need some help, right? We are not too big. We are not too educated. We're not so well traveled where we don't need help. So I encourage you to find a role model. Having a role model inspires us and gives us an image of who we can be. My sisters are fabulous. My mama is fabulous. My daughters are courageous. So I look to them and I take attributes from them and I say, hey, I like that. I think I need to come up in that area. Hey, I like that. I think I could do better in that area. Who is she and who are they in your life? And what do you like about them? You must partner up with the right person. I want to tell you about the story about the scorpion and the frog, because it's so important that we partner up with the right people, because we don't want to partner up with negativity. We don't want to partner up with people that cause us to drown. It's very crucial that you link up with the right people. So there was a story about the scorpion and the frog. The frog needed a ride across the river. Pay attention to this. This is an amazing story. The frog needed a ride across the river. So there was a scorpion. And the frog says, hey, can I get a ride across the river? And the scorpion says, sure, get on my back. I'll take you across the river. And the frog said, okay, but how do I know you're not going to bite me as we're traveling across the river? And the scorpion says, why would I do that? You said you need a ride. I'm going to help you get across the river to get you going where you need to be. So the scorpion gets on the frog gets on the scorpion's back. So they're traveling across the river and they're talking and they're having a conversation, and the frog is just excited that he got a ride on the scorpion's back. So all of a sudden, the frog felt something. He was like, hey, something hurt me. Something stung me. I'm feeling sick. I feel like I'm about to fall off your back. What happened? The frog said, hey, oh my gosh, you bit me. You promised me that you was not going to bite me. And the scorpion said, now you know it's in my nature to bite. You knew when you asked me for a ride that I was going to bite you. I was like, that's powerful. So what am I saying? When you know what you know, you do better. When you know what you know, you run. When you know somebody's going to harm you, when they've shown you what they look like 1, 2, 3, and 4 times, why a 5th time? Believe them. Partner up with people that will do you no harm. Partner up with courageous and powerful women that would be an asset rather than a liability. Partner yourself with people that are going to pour. They're going to pour. Y'all get that? They're going to pour into your life, and they're not going to drain you. They're not going to take from you, but they're going to pour and increase your value and make you come up to where you do better in life and living. I pray that you enjoyed that story. That story spoke volumes to me. And I'm so excited that God has placed me around powerful women that would, again, pour and not take. That's a whole different story. A lot of times we partner up with people and they take and they take and they take and they don't give. You got to partner up with people that are going to pour into your life and add to your life and make your life more easy. Pay attention to the story about the scorpion and the frog. Moving right along. This one right here, it might hurt some of us because it's so true. Be a better friend to your friends. So I got to come a little closer to the camera. Are you a good friend? Think about that. Are you a great friend? We have to take time to admit and examine our lives and ask ourselves, I want better. I want better companions. I want a better village. I want better women to hang out with. But first, let me look at myself. Girl, get the mirror and say, am I a good friend? Be a good friend. We must admit some of us are not good friends. But it's okay because you still got time. And it's a tough reality. It's a harsh reality. But you still got time to do a do-over. You still got time to go back to some people and let them know, I hurt you and I'm sorry. I abandoned you in the friendship, but I'm trying to do better with my life. I apologize. Would you forgive me? You got time to go back and find that sister or that brother, or maybe that child, maybe your spouse, maybe your fiance, your boyfriend. You got time to go back to them and ask for forgiveness and say, you know what? I'm challenging myself to be better. And I'm telling you to be patient with me because I'm going to figure it out and I'm going to get it right. The next one, moving right along. This is good to me. I pray that it is blessing you. Be a better member of your community. Our community needs us. This is why this platform is incredible, because we have some powerful people in our community that needs to be heard. So when I say be a better manager of our community, better member of our community, what communities are you a part of? What interest groups are you a part of? What recreational clubs are you a part of? What sororities, fraternities are you a part of? How can you be a more active part of your community? Think about that. That's homework for you to do. Another one here I have listed is be a better manager and a leader. If you're managing other people, many people leave their jobs. Listen to this really, really good because it's going to bless you. Many people leave their jobs because they're unhappy with their managers. So I got to ask you a personal question. Let's take a poll before I end this session. What kind of manager are you? How do you handle people? Do you listen? Are you concerned about their concerns? How well you manage your employees can dramatically affect their motivational levels and their performance. Put their needs sometime above yours and bring the best out of them. It's powerful, huh? It's something to really, really think about. And let's move on and talk about being a better human to others. How you treat the fellow humans around you. Do you treat them better? Do you treat them as a lesser than? I'm striving, y'all, to look at even there's so much poverty in our community. There's so much homelessness in our community. So every now and then, I don't mind giving somebody that dollar. I don't mind directing them to the homeless shelters. I don't mind taking sack lunches just to encourage them, because some of them that are homeless were once millionaires. Yes. Some of them were once homeowners, business owners. But because of the dynamics of life, it caused them to check out. That's how come we have to be that voice of inspiration and empowerment in our communities. Treat them the way you want to be treated. You know, our moms and fathers taught that to us when we were in elementary school. I'm going to close with this question. Be a better being in this world. How can you make the world a better place? Start doing that today. Let me ask this question. If you were given the opportunity to change the world, first let me go back and say change your home life, the world, your church, your community, and the world. What would you change? How would you empower? How would you inspire? If you were given that awesome task and that awesome opportunity, what would you do as an individual to make this world a better place? Equip yourself with skills. Your skills are like the tools in your toolbox. The more skills you have, the more able you become better. Thank you again for this platform. And I'm looking forward to greater and better things in my community. And I challenge you to become better than you were on yesterday. Have an amazing week and a victorious future. Bye-bye now.